Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. You know, in the fast-paced world of fintech, things are constantly changing and evolving. So today we're diving into a new development that has the potential to really shake things up.
Definitely. And it's all about payouts.
Payouts. Okay, so we're talking about payout to X-Pays.
Exactly.
This is a solution that allows businesses to send instant payments directly to Apple Pay and Google Pay accounts.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's a pretty big deal when you think about how many people rely on those digital wallets every day.
Okay, so I'm intrigued. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I think we need to take a step back for a second.
Hmm.
For those who might not be as familiar with Payout to X-Pays, can you give us a quick rundown of what it is and how it works? What's the elevator pitch?
So imagine this. You need to send a payment to someone. Maybe it's a freelancer you hired, a customer getting a refund, or even just splitting a bill with friends. Instead of dealing with the hassle of collecting bank details or waiting for transfers to clear, you can simply send them a payment link.
A payment link. Okay, that sounds pretty straightforward.
It is. And that link takes them directly to their Apple Pay or Google Pay wallet where they can instantly accept the payment. No more back and forth, no more security risks of sharing sensitive information.
You know, when I first heard about Payout to X-Pays, I have to admit I was a bit skeptical. I thought, is it really that simple? But the more I learn about it, the more it seems like this could be a real game changer, especially for businesses operating in the fintech space.
Oh, absolutely. At Verestro, we're always looking for ways to make financial transactions smoother and more secure. And with Payout to X-Pays, we're leveraging the power of those digital wallets that people are already using every single day. It just makes sense.
Okay, so walk me through this. Let's break it down a bit. How does it actually work from a technical standpoint?
Yeah.
What's happening behind the scenes when someone sends a Payout to X-Pays link?
So on the back end, we generate this unique encrypted link that contains all the necessary payment information. But instead of setting bank details or card numbers, which can be risky, this link acts as a secure bridge between the sender and the recipient's digital wallet. Think of it like a digital handshake.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture. So I'm the recipient, I get this link, I click on it. Then what? What happens next?
It's super simple. You land directly in your Apple Pay or Google Pay wallet, and you just choose which card you want to use for the transaction.
So there's no need for me to manually input any card numbers, expiry dates, or any of that stuff?
Nope, it's all handled securely within your digital wallet environment.
Okay, now that's impressive. You know, we talk a lot about security on this show, and I know it's always top of mind for our listeners, especially when it comes to financial transactions. So how does Payout to X-Pays address those concerns? What measures are in place to prevent fraud or unauthorized access?
Well, security is paramount. That's something we take extremely seriously at Verestro. So first off, the link itself is encrypted. That means that the information it contains is protected every step of the way. And secondly, to actually receive the funds, you have to authenticate through your Apple Pay or Google Pay. So you're using your device's built-in security measures like biometrics or a PIN. It's essentially adding an extra layer of protection.
Right, because I'm already using those security measures on my phone to access my digital wallet anyway.
Exactly. So you're already familiar with it. It's already part of your routine.
Okay, so that makes sense. But let's be honest, sometimes even the most secure systems can be vulnerable. Has anyone actually implemented Payout to X-Pays yet? Is it out there in the real world?
Oh, absolutely. We actually had a really successful implementation with a Polish fintech company called Vera. They've integrated Payout to X-Pays directly into their app, and they're using it for all sorts of transactions. They've even started sending payment links through WhatsApp.
Wow, WhatsApp. That's thinking outside the box. I like it.
And, their CEO, Pavel Karate, he's been a huge advocate for Payout to X-Pays. He's really excited about how it's simplified their operations and made it so much easier for their users to send and receive money.
So it's not just a theory. It's actually out there in the wild, making a difference. That's great to hear. But okay, beyond this specific example, I'm curious about the bigger picture. What are some other ways that you envision Payout to X-Pays being used? Where do you see the most potential across different fintech verticals?
Oh, the potential is huge. Think about the gig economy. Imagine being able to pay freelancers or contractors instantly as soon as they complete a job. No more waiting for invoices, no more delays in getting paid.
That would definitely streamline things.
And what about cryptocurrency payouts?
Oh yeah, that's a hot topic these days.
It is. With Payout to X-PAYS, you can send those crypto payouts directly to a user's digital wallet without having to deal with all the complicated exchanges and transfer processes. It just simplifies everything.
So you're saying it could cut out the middleman in a lot of these transactions.
Exactly. And that's not even scratching the surface. We're talking about peer-to-peer payments, remittances, microloans. The possibilities are really endless. It's all about making those financial transactions faster, more secure, and more accessible to everyone.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here, but let's zoom back in for a second. For our listeners who are out there building and scaling fintech solutions, what are some specific use cases that they could apply Payout to X-Pays to?
Let me give you a few examples. Think about online gaming platforms that need to disperse winnings quickly, or e-commerce businesses that want to streamline cashback rewards. It could even be used to expedite insurance payouts so policyholders can receive funds immediately in times of need.
Those are some really compelling use cases.
Yeah.
You've definitely given me, and I'm sure our listeners, a lot to think about. But, before we get too carried away with all the potential applications, I think it's important that we dive a bit deeper into the technical side of things. I want to make sure that our audience has a solid understanding of how this technology works.
Sure. What would you like to explore?
Well, you mentioned tokenization earlier, and I think that's a concept that deserves a bit more attention. Can you break that down for us? What exactly does tokenization mean in the context of Payout to X-Pays, and how does it contribute to the overall security of the system?
Sure, yeah. So tokenization, it's basically a way to replace sensitive data like your credit card number with a non-sensitive equivalent. We call it a token. And this token can be used for transactions without exposing your actual card details. It's like a stand-in, a placeholder. So in Payout to X-Pays, that unique link itself actually acts as a token. It represents the payment information without revealing your sensitive data.
So even if someone were to intercept that link, they wouldn't be able to access the user's financial information.
Exactly. The token is useless without the proper authorization and decryption keys, which are all securely managed on our end at Verestro, and also within the user's Apple Pay or Google Pay environment.
So it's like giving someone a key to a safe deposit box, but not the combination to actually open it.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. When we designed Payout to X-Pays, security was our top priority. We wanted to create a solution that people could trust. A solution that would give them peace of mind, knowing that their financial information is always protected.
That's reassuring to hear. You've painted a very optimistic picture of Payout to X-Pays, and rightfully so. But you know me, I always like to play devil's advocate. So are there any potential downsides or challenges that fintech companies should be aware of before they jump on board with this technology? What are some things they should be thinking about?
Oh, for sure. It's always important to look at things from all angles. I think one potential challenge could be user adoption. Even though digital wallets are becoming more and more popular, there's still a segment of the population that's not familiar with them or maybe even a little bit hesitant to use them.
That's a good point. Fintech companies might need to educate their users about how digital wallets work and why they're secure.
Exactly. It's all about building trust and awareness. Another thing to consider is integration. Even though we designed Payout to X-Pays to be as flexible as possible, integrating it into existing systems might still require some development effort. But don't worry, at Verestro, we provide a ton of support and documentation to make the process as seamless as possible for our partners.
So it's not necessarily a plug-and-play solution, but you're saying it's not overly complicated to implement either.
Right. We've made it as straightforward as possible, and we're always there to help our partners every step of the way. We really see this as a collaborative process.
Now, I know our listeners are always looking for that competitive edge. So let's talk about what sets Payout to X-Pays apart. What makes it unique in the crowded world of payment solutions? What are its superpowers?
I'd say there are a few key things. First, it's the focus on digital wallets. We're tapping into a technology that's already widely adopted and that people trust. Millions of users around the world are already comfortable using Apple Pay and Google Pay for their everyday transactions.
So you're building on existing habits and making the transition to Payout to X-Pays seamless.
Precisely. Second, the speed. Payout to X-Pays is all about instant payments. And this can be a real game changer when it comes to user experience. Nobody wants to wait for their money.
Especially in today's world where everything is so fast-paced.
Right. Instant gratification is the name of the game. And finally, the security. As we talked about earlier, by combining tokenization, encryption, and the security measures built into digital wallets, we've created a solution that's both super secure and incredibly user-friendly. There are no complicated forms to fill out, no sensitive data to share. It's just a simple link that connects the sender and the recipient securely and efficiently.
Okay, that's a powerful combination. Speed, security, ease of use. I can definitely see why you're excited about this technology. Now, for all the fintech entrepreneurs and innovators out there listening, what's your message to them? Why should they consider integrating Payout to X-Pays into their solutions?
Well, if you're looking to streamline your payments, enhance security, and just create a better user experience, Payout to X-Pays is a real game changer. It's a future-proof solution that aligns with the way payments are evolving, and it allows you to tap into that massive ecosystem of digital wallets that's already out there.
Okay, that's a compelling pitch, but I want to go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about the big picture. What does Payout to X-Pays represent for the fintech industry as a whole? Where do you see this technology heading in the next few years?
Well, I think it represents a shift toward a more open and interconnected financial system. It's about breaking down the traditional silos that have separated different payment systems. In the future, I think we're going to see a convergence where sending money becomes as easy as sending a text message. It won't matter what platform you're using or what service you're using.
That's a really interesting thought. It sounds like a more seamless and user-centric experience.
Exactly. And as digital wallets continue to become more and more ubiquitous and technologies like Payout to X-Pays continue to evolve, I think this vision is well within reach.
That's exciting to think about. But as with any major shift in the financial landscape, there are always questions about regulation and compliance.
Yeah.
How do you see those aspects evolving as this new payment paradigm takes hold?
That's a really important point. As the fintech industry grows and innovates, regulators are working hard to keep pace. They want to ensure that all this innovation doesn't come at the expense of consumer protection. And at Verestro, we are very much aware of this. We're constantly engaging in dialogues with regulators to make sure that Payout to X-Pays meets the highest standards of compliance and security.
That's good to hear. Now, I know a lot of our listeners are probably thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but where do I even begin? How do I actually get started with Payout to X-Pays?
Well, the first step is really simple. Just reach out to us. At Verestro, we're always eager to connect with fintech companies and explore how Payout to X-Pays can help them achieve their goals. We'll talk to you, understand your needs, and then we'll work with you to create a tailored solution that meets your specific business objectives.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about building a partnership.
Absolutely. We believe that collaboration is essential to innovation, and that's how we approach everything we do at Verestro.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to break all of this down for us today. We've covered a lot of ground. We talked about the technology behind Payout to X-Pays, explored some of its potential applications, and even touched on the bigger picture of what this means for the future of fintech. But before we wrap things up, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, which is the importance of education and awareness.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How can fintech companies effectively communicate the value of Payout to X-Pays to their users? What are some strategies they can use to build that trust and encourage adoption?
That's a great question, and honestly, it's something we're constantly exploring with our partners at Verestro. I think one of the keys is to keep it simple. Focus on the tangible benefits that users will experience. Highlight things like the speed, the convenience, and the security of Payout to X-Pays. Show them how it can simplify their lives and make managing their finances easier and more secure. And above all, be transparent. Explain how it works, but do it in a way that everyone can understand.
So it's about finding that balance between technical depth and making it relatable to the average user.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of storytelling. Share real-world examples of how Payout to X-Pays is being used to solve problems and create value. Let your users see how it can benefit them in their everyday lives.
We talk a lot about the need for fintech to be more human-centric, and I think Payout to X-Pays, along with this approach to communication, really embodies that philosophy.
I couldn't agree more. Ultimately, it's not just about building technology for technology's sake. It's about using technology to empower people and make their lives better. And that's what drives us at Verestro.
Okay, that's a perfect place to leave it for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Payout to X-Pays. I know our listeners are walking away with a much deeper understanding of what this technology is all about and how it can shape the future of finance.
If you're interested in learning more about Payout to X-Pays or any of the other innovative solutions that Verestro offers, be sure to visit their website. We'll include a link in the show notes. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.